Good afternoon. Welcome to Lunchtime News. I'm Wambiru, and our sign language is Eve Wangeshi. Now, let's start the broadcast. Village elders across the country will start receiving a monthly stipend from the government effective July 1st, 2026. This was announced Tuesday by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration. Interior Principal Secretary Raymond Omolo made the revelation during induction training for 530 newly appointed Deputy County Commissioners. During the induction, he spelled out the role of Deputy County Commissioners as the link between national government policies and implementation on the ground. Omolo called for discipline and professionalism among the newly appointed deputies, warning that compromised officers will not be tolerated.
Decisions, your responsiveness, and your ability to listen and act. Their sense of security, justice, fairness, and inclusion will in many ways be shaped by how you carry out your duties. As administrators, you are basically the face of government. When the public interact with you, how you treat them, how you speak to them, how you engage them, that is the impression they have of government. So we have a very big and noble responsibility in your assignment as administrators across the Republic. How well or how easy is it for the public to come to your office, to access services, or even to raise concerns? As administrators, as DCCs, you also support us in the recruitment of officers, the chiefs and the assistant chiefs. Are you that administrator who is only going to recommend someone to be hired as a chief or an assistant chief because you've made them to sell a piece of land that they have to get the job, or they've had to give certain favors, or someone has had to intervene? My expectation is that for us to maintain the level of respect and to maintain the dignity of the offices that we occupy, you must be able to transfer or reciprocate the honor and the responsibility that we've assigned you as the Deputy County Commissioners in your respective jurisdictions. The office of the DCC also occupies a strategic position within the National Government Administration Officers Framework. You are the critical link between national policy and implementation. And as Madam Pass has mentioned, you chair 16 committees. You're basically coordinating government operations and programs. So whether you're serving in the field or at different ministries, departments.
In other news, religious leaders have been urged to take a leading role in promoting environmental conservation through education and community engagement. Speaking during an interfaith dialogue on environmental protection, the National General Secretary of the Hindu Council of Kenya, Surendra Bhatia, said environmental degradation remains one of the world's greatest challenges. Bhatia called on religious leaders to champion environmental protection as a shared responsibility. He emphasized that collective action by religious institutions and communities is essential in safeguarding the environment for future generations.
But the environmental degradation is increasing in intensity every year. And what role can we play as the religious leaders to bring about education so that we can bring our life, a way of life in a fashion that we protect this environment so that we are protected going forward?
Mental health advocates are urging Kenyan men to speak up about emotional struggles and seek help warning that silent suffering is fueling depression, substance abuse and rising cases of domestic violence. As activities marking Men's Mental Health Month come to a close, mental health advocates are calling on men to break the silence and seek support before their struggles escalate. Speaking during a mental health awareness forum in Tinganga Village, Kiambu County, stakeholders say depression, low self-esteem, drug and substance abuse and financial pressure continue to affect many men across the country. They urge communities to create safe spaces where men can openly share their experiences without fear of stigma. Stakeholders also called for sustained public awareness campaigns to encourage early intervention and reduce mental health stigma.
This month being a men's mental health month, here it's a good way of reaching out to the man and, encouraging him and telling him that we are there, and there are organizations that like this that are there to support men's mental health, and most of our services that we're offering them for free, and they are accessible to anybody and any family members.
Ni vizuri pia mtu awe na warafiki ambao unaweza fungua roho na useme hai kwa kitogo haya maneno yananikumba. Na hiyo ni jinsi moja ya kuanza kupona hata kabla haujaanza kupata kielelezo zaidi.
Hii maneno inafaa kuenezwa, watu wafahamu kabisa. Ndio kukiwa na mkutano kama hii, unaona watu wanajitokeza wengi, alafu wanasikiza ile mawaidha wanapewa.
Moving on, 3 men have died mysteriously as they were trying to unblock a sewer line at the satellite area of Kaveria-Lelana Road in Nairobi. The incident comes after a child fell into the sewer but was rescued. Their bodies have been preserved at the Kenyatta National Hospital mortuary.
The 3 men have been identified as John Clooney, who was the first to enter the manhole, his uncle Gideon Musila, who entered the sewer to rescue him, and the third person, Moses Kidure, who attempted to save them.
Ati walikuwa kazi ya kufuruta sewage chini ili block. Kublock ndio sasa walikuwa na furuta ndio sewage iende. Kumbe hiyo vile aliingia ndani Gideon akakwama. Kukwama mwingine anakuja kumfuruta ndio hiyo akaenda. Tena mwingine watatu ndio huyo akaenda. Hakuna mtu alikumba kufunga kamba, walikuwa naingia tu hivyo na wanaenda hivyo.
Satellite residents have condemned the road design engineer who placed all manholes at the center of the road, hence risking the lives of passers-by.
Hata hivyo naona manholes hizi chumba zinaibiwa sana, hata zinaachwa open. Naangalia ile riski kwa hapa sewage katikati ya barabara, the center of the road. Inaweza cause death watu wangapi hii Kenya kusema kweli.
They have called for immediate intervention to avert further loss of lives.
Tunaomba nyinyi serikali ambapo mkituletee watu kwa kutengeneza mabarabara, mtuletee watu wenye wako wasomi, alafu wakuje na wasikize mambo yenye wakaaji wa hapo wanataka.
In the recent past, a child fell into the same sewer line but was rescued and rushed to the hospital for treatment.
Kuna mtoto mwingine siku nyingine aliingia kwa hiyo sewage. Tukatoa mtoto tukakimbiza hospitali. Hata ni Kiogora ndiye alitoa mtoto akaenda kutibu mtoto. Hiyo ni ya kwanza. Tena hapo ya juu pia ilikuwa shida. Waliwacha tu hivi walevi wanakuja usiku wanaangukia.
The bodies were taken to Kenyatta National Hospital mortuary awaiting autopsy. Give us in mind, Lunchtime News.
Curtains have come down on the month-long Jijue Jibeta campaign, a file and pay sensitization caravan by the Kenya Revenue Authority. Ahead of Tuesday's midnight deadline for the filing of returns, the caravan toured Migori County on Monday for the last day of the roadshow, with stops in Esebania, Kehancha, Migori Town, Uriri, Awendo and Rongo. Hundreds of taxpayers turned to update their records in last-minute rush to beat the deadline. Alongside its officials, media partner, the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, the Taxman, and the Jijue Jibeta Caravan have toured 24 counties for the sensitization of taxpayers. Eligible taxpayers have until midnight Tuesday to file their returns through multiple platforms available by KRA, including through WhatsApp or USSD code.
I wish to take this opportunity to thank KRA for the partnership and trusting KBC to deliver in this Jijue Jibeta campaign, where the message has been simple. We have been encouraging Kenyans to file their tax on the USSD platform and the WhatsApp platform. This has been a 1-month roadshow and 64 mobile clinics.
Now, efforts to enforce human rights and health standards within correctional facilities received a boost on Tuesday, with the State Department for Correctional Services receiving a donation of 980 mattresses from the Office of the Deputy President. The donation, which was delivered by Chief of Staff in the Office of the Deputy President, Dr. Christopher Wanjau, will support ongoing efforts focused on rehabilitation, human dignity and addressing overcrowding. Dr. Wanjau said every citizen, including those held in correctional facilities, has an inalienable right to dignity and treatment without discrimination. He, at the same time, called on all Kenyans to participate actively and fully in the reintegration of reform offenders into society.
Tunza mali ya serikali kwa sababu yeyote gereza anaweza kuingia, ili muweze kukaa mazingira mema na mazingira ambayo yako na utu na heshima. The Constitution pia ilitambua umuhimu wa human dignity, yeah, of all Kenyans, irrespective of where they are. Either wako huko nje ama wako ndani ya prison. Kwa sababu pia kuwa ndani ya prison sio kusema you are not Kenyan, you are still Kenyans.
And we would want this collaboration to continue in the rehabilitation programs, in the reform programs, in ensuring that these people are completely equipped and ready to be reintegrated in society as formidable citizens who can be and who are productive.
Health and counseling professionals are raising concern over the growing impact of excessive alcohol consumption and illicit brews on addiction and mental health. This as they called on the government to intensify efforts to curb the sale of illicit brews while expanding access to rehabilitation and mental health services to help those affected rebuild their lives. Patrick Kinothia, a resident of Kiambu County who has marked 10 years of sobriety after battling alcoholism for 16 years, urged those still battling addiction not to lose hope, saying recovery is possible for anyone willing to seek help. He now identifies and supports individuals struggling with addiction by connecting them with rehabilitation services.
Nilikuwa naishi mahali hapa na nilikuwa mlevi. Nikasaidiwa na watu wa kanisa, wakanipeleka rehab, na sasa leo nimekuja kuonesha vile Mungu amenifanyia. Sasa mimi nakujanga tu ku create awareness kwa yule tu mwenye anaweza taka kubadilika kama mimi.
Na tumeshuhudia mambo mengi sana ya ulevi na haswa vifo vingi katika hii kijiji yetu. Na unapata katika kila homestead iko affected. Na unapata vifo vingi ambavyo tunapata they are alcohol related complications.
Mimi naweza taka kupelekwa rehab kwa sababu hata nikipata mbao, dhati, kila kitu na kunywa. Shida yangu ni kukunywa na huwa sikuli. Naweza taka kusaidiwa.
Nafurahia sana kwa mwito wake juu alitoka hii kijiji na tena ameikumbuka na tena akakumbuka wale vikoo zake wale aliwacha kwa hii kijiji. Tumefurahia sana kurudi na kumaanisha anataka wengine wao wabadilike, waachane na pombe.
Elders from the Warsu clan have endorsed former Principal Secretary for Petroleum Mohammed Liban as the preferred candidate for the Isiolo gubernatorial race ahead of the nomination process to be conducted through negotiated democracy by the larger Borana Council of Elders.
In the endorsement meeting, Warsu clan chairperson Mohammed Kanchora expressed confidence that Liban will secure the backing of the wider Borana Council of Elders.
We have had a good gathering, we have good discussion, we have a mutual understanding And we have said that we are going to take Mohamed Nilwan to the next level of the Borana Council of Elders, which is the final decision. So tunaonelea ya kwamba the Borana community or the BCE will endorse him as the only candidate ambaye BCE watatoka naye katika Isiolo County. Certificate is not all that important, but the best teacher is experience.
Elsewhere, the Abaguzi National Council of Elders has urged political leaders in Gusii region to maintain peace and political tolerance. Speaking after celebrating their 20th anniversary in one of Kisii town hotels, Chairman James Matundara urged the elected leaders to maintain respect regardless of political affiliation.
Tunauliza viongozi wetu wote kwa ngazi za juu na za chini waheshimiane na wafanye kazi yao kwa heshima. Hiyo China heshima nitadirudia hata mara 100 kwa sababu hiyo ndio msingi ya utamaduni wetu. Ukifanya hiyo basi sasa utafaulu. Tufanye kazi yetu kwa heshima hiyo, tufanye kazi yetu kwa uangalifu, na tuwache hii mambo ya kupigana, tuwache mambo ya kutukanana na tuwache hii mambo ya ufisadi. Hata unafanya kazi unataka ulipwe ufanye.
Danton Indande, Lunchtime News.
And away from the political arena, innovation is taking center stage in Nairobi as young innovators from universities across the country showcase groundbreaking solutions aimed at addressing Kenya's social and economic challenges. The two-day Innovation Week hosted by the Open University of Kenya at the Kenya Institute of Special Education has brought together students, researchers, industry players and government leaders with more than 30 innovations on display. The government is now urging young people to harness innovation as a driver of job creation, entrepreneurship and national development.
The message here is how can we be able to leapfrog as a country from the current status to the first world status. And one of the areas that we need to focus on is how we can be able to nurture the talents of our young Kenyans by looking at the ideas, by looking at the innovations that they have. So scaling up, scaling out, innovation to commercialization, research to commercialization. Also to encourage the universities to think outside the box, like what this institution is doing, by looking at how we can be able to resolve the challenges of the society.
Investors, the collaborators to join hands with us to incubate these wonderful ideas from the young people and be able to achieve innovation to commercialization.
The National Transport and Safety Authority has urged manufacturers to focus more on safety features as one of the remedies to spiraling road accidents on Kenyan roads during the unveiling of Suzuki new models, a Super Carry. NTSA's Director General Nahashon Kondiwe said safety measures are key to maintaining operational continuity. The new models are expected to stimulate economic growth by empowering individuals and small businesses with efficient mobility solutions.
Just how safe are we as we move in our roads? Africa in particular and developing world bears a really unreasonable burden of deaths on the roads. Actually, majority of the deaths on the road happen in Africa and the developing world. Unfortunately, we don't have so many vehicles. So the vehicles are majority in other jurisdictions or other world, but we bear the biggest burden. And that's why when Sifao is launching a Suzuki model that is really having a lot of safety features, it gives me a satisfaction.
Women empowerment initiatives are taking the lead role in Samburu County, with local leaders terming it a game changer. Samburu women representatives said with the unpredictable rains and banditry that usually affect the only local livelihood, that is livestock keeping, women should turn their focus to other economic endeavors. She spoke when she donated tents and chairs to a group of women in Kisumu area of Samburu West. The program targets a women group in villages to empower themselves economically.
Ni furaha kubwa kwa sababu ya Mheshimiwa Pauline vile ametuletea hema za kuendelesha magroup za wamama. Hatujaipata tangu wale wengine walikuwa mbeleni, hakuna msaada yote tumeaipata, na leo tumeshukuru sana sana. Tuko na furaha kubwa sana.
Sisi jilali ilimaliza wanyama wetu. Hata hii vita iko hapa Samburu County, imeshukua mali yetu. Sasa tumepata ile mali ambao waisi hawawezi kuchukua ama jilali hawezi kuchukua.
Hii ni project kubwa ambayo imesaidia wakina mama, ni rahisi kufanya, ni rahisi kutunza, ni rahisi kuimplement, haihitaji mambo mingi. Kwa hivyo wamama tu wana keep hema yao vizuri na wanaweza kujitafutia kazi katika vijiji yao. Na ninge encourage viongozi wote wa county hii, hata kama sio wewe ulipeleka hiyo hema, hema ikienda kwa kijiji inakuwa property ya wakina mama. Saidieni wakina mama kupata kazi.
In other news, Kisumu County Women Representative Ruth Odinga is urging elected leaders and security agencies in the Lakeside County to deliberate and find a lasting solution to the escalating insecurity problem. This comes in the wake of the recent killing of a night guard at Lake Comprehensive School and the murder of a woman within the informal Manyata estate. Last month, the son of former Matungu MP David Were was attacked and killed at night near his residence. The wave of killings has sparked fear among residents who are now calling on the police to not only intensify night patrols but also expedite investigations into the killings. She made the remarks when meeting women self-help groups in the county.
Insecurity and the killings that are happening in Kisumu country is going and escalating and getting completely out of hand. The deaths that are happening is as if it's like waking up and taking tea. No! It cannot be accepted.
Hatutaki mambo ya insecurity hapa Kisumu. Tunataka watu wakuje, watu wetu mahoteli zetu zijae, we should not portray Kisumu in a negative image.
Naomba wananchi watusaidie pia, mkiwa na mambo kama ya ukosefu ya usalama, tusaidiane pamoja.
A section of Mijikenda elders are calling on the government to deploy armed police officers to senior boarding schools to curb incidences of school unrest. The Sauti ya Wazee community-based organization elders, led by their chairman Garama Muvondi, also questioned how flammable materials are sneaked into the learning institutions undetected. They also suggested a return of corporal punishment if push comes to shove.
Viongozi wale ambao wamechaguliwa pale shule kama wanafunzi wengine ambao ni kama ni macho ya wale wenzao wako, lakini tunashindwa hivi vitu vya kuchomea shule vinaingia hapo kinamna gani ikiwa maaskari wako pale?
Ikiwa security ile ya wale walinzi locally wameshindwa na kazi, serikali kuu itupatie walinzi ambao ni askari wana vifaa vya siku hizi, ili kwamba wakaweze kuleta usalama zaidi mbali na huu ambao tunaona umezorota.
Ombi letu sisi kama Sauti ya Wazee, tunaomba wale askari husika ambao wana patrol pale ndani, pamoja na headmaster ambaye ni overall katika security, na wale viongozi wote ambao wanahusika katika hiyo shule hawa watoto na matro wakamatwe.
Youth leaders in Trans Nzoia have called for national dialogue on unemployment and creation of opportunities in the electoral process ahead of 2027 general election. Speaking in Chiragani constituency after an empowerment summit, the youth leaders warned political leaders against using desperate youth to propagate political violence for partisan interest. They further called on the government to pursue avenues that will empower the youth and give them solutions to challenges facing them.
Shida kubwa ya vijana, ukiona by the time wanaandamana, ni kwa sababu zile agenda ama zile programs za empowerment ambazo zilikuwa zimepangwa hazijaweza kufanya nini? Kutekelezwa. So sisi tunasisitiza sana kwamba serikali focus kwa masuala ya empowerment.
Tushikane kama vijana, tuendelee mbele. Sisi tumekataa kutumiwa. Sasa sisi tuko na sauti moja kama vijana. Leo mimi nataka niwaeleze viongozi ambao wanatutumianga sisi kama vijana. Sisi hatuwezi tumika raundi hii. Sisi tumechanuka.
Sisi kama vijana tumeamua kutaka tujiunge pamoja, tukataa hiyo maneno kabisa. Tufuate njia ile ipasavyo. Kwa sababu ukiona kama vijana wako Nairobi, wamekosa kazi, ndio maana wanachanganyikiwa, wanadanganywa na hizo pesa kidogo. Wanakuambia linga jamaa fulani, fanya hivi jamaa fulani, ndio unaona anakufa.
Landowners in Kajiado County are protesting what they say is a spike in land rates, warning the new charges are unaffordable and will further worsen the cost of living. They're now seeking the court's intervention to stop the implementation of the revised rates. Speaking during a meeting in Kajiado North, the residents said annual land rates have risen from 1,500 shillings to between 6,500 and 7,500, describing the increase as punitive and beyond the reach of many property owners.
Kumekuwa na sheria ambayo ilipitishwa kutoka bunge letu la kitaifa la Nairobi, likapea nguvu ma MCA, wakapitisha sheria ya kuongeza ploti zetu kutoka shilingi 1,500, ushuru wa shilingi 1,500 mpaka shilingi 7,500 na 6,500.
Kazi tunafanya sisi ni wanyonge na hatuna uwezo wa kulipa hiyo pesa, hata kama tunapenda hatuwezi. Tunataka tulipange hiyo 1,500. Hiyo ndio uwezo wetu, tunaweza kulipa hiyo.
Tena the same court tena imeamua tena turudi kulipa 7,500. How come na ilikuwa imeamua hata mwaka haijaisha, by the way tulilipa last year, tena this year tena imeongeza tena pesa.
Well, that report from Kajiado brings us to a fast break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up.
The wait is over. KBC iko Huduma Center. Starting with Nairobi, kupata huduma za KBC imekuwa rahisi. From digital guidance and signet services to booking of commercial adverts and documentaries. Visit our dedicated desks at Huduma Center GPO, Times Square, Makadara, Kibera or Eastleigh. Tunakungoja hapo. Whether it's a casual announcement or a specialized media solution for your business, we are here to serve you. KBC at Huduma Centers, moving closer to you. Your station, your service.
naitwa Kenson Juma. Timu yangu yenyewe ni England. Mimi nashabikia England kabisa. Hapo kuna Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Madueke na wengineo. Napenda station ya KBC. Pia na ningependa kuambia mashabiki wengine wafuatilie hiyo station nzuri kabisa.
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. We now move over to the interactive segment of this bulletin where motor insurance is mandatory in Kenya, but having an insurance certificate doesn't always mean you're covered. Today, we're joined by William Kiama, the manager of general insurance business at the Association of Kenya Insurers, to discuss the growing problem of fake motor insurance and how motorists can verify the cover in less than a minute. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now to start us off, many motorists believe that once they have an insurance certificate, they are fully covered. Is that always the case?
No, that is not always the case. We have some unscrupulous agents sometimes who issue certificates that are not genuine. So sometimes you may find yourself with an invalid certificate. This being, for example, you may have a certificate of insurance taken by one person. When they sell the vehicle, the other person continues using that certificate, but the original owner cancels the certificate. So ideally, you'll be having a certificate on your windscreen, but that certificate is invalid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, perhaps how widespread is the problem of fake or invalid motor insurance in Kenya today?
Well, the problem is actually growing. We have tried to do a quick check in terms of some region, the central region, the Kisii region, and recently it was done in Garissa, and we saw the problem is actually big, especially in those parts like Garissa. So it's important for people to make sure that they do the verification of those certificates when they get them.
Perhaps how are unsuspecting motorists ending up with fake insurance certificates?
Okay, we have two categories of individuals. One, there are those who know that they actually have a fake certificate. They just want to pay a little money and then they get the certificate that is not genuine. There are those who do not know and they are conned by the sole agents. Sometimes an agent can take a purported agent, not actually an unregistered person even. They can take a 1 month cover, which may be genuine. Then when you are paying premium in installments, when you come to pay the second installments, they don't actually deliver that money to the insurance company. So they end up changing the dates on that certificate or editing that certificate. So you end up with an invalid certificate. So there are those who know that they actually have invalid, but there are those who don't know, and they are conned by unscrupulous people out there.
And now, speaking of fake or invalid certificates, perhaps if I'm involved in an accident here and later discover that my insurance is invalid, perhaps what happens now?
That will be a very, very great exposure to you as a motorist. We have seen cases where people have gone to road creams only to find that they actually don't have valid certificates, and those people end up paying anybody who has been injured in that accident. You end up repairing your vehicle. If you are to blame for the accident, you end up even repairing the other person's vehicle, the one that you have an accident with, because it's your responsibility to repair all the damages that you have caused. So it's a very, very big financial exposure which faces that kind of a person who find themselves with an invalid certificate.
So you've mentioned the financial consequences. Perhaps what about the legal consequences one could face?
Oh yeah, you also have legal exposure, because actually having an invalid certificate is a criminal offense, and that means you might be taken to court and you are jailed, or you are fined up to the tune of 10,000 or 1 year imprisonment, or you can even be given both punishments. That is a fine and also the imprisonment. Yeah.
Perhaps what does this mean for passengers, pedestrians or other road users involved in the accident?
Now, the purpose of insurance is actually to protect the other road users. For the mandatory part, that is the third party only, that is the mandatory insurance that every motorist is required to have. And the purpose of that accident is to protect the other road users. In terms of damage to the property, in terms of injury, you may find, for example, in the event of death of a person, the amount, the maximum amount payable is Kenya shillings 3 million. You can imagine if you have, if it is a matatu carrying 14 people, and you hear like 10 have passed on, then that means the exposure is like 30 million. So you would need to pay that from your pocket, that 30 million. And an ordinary Kenyan, I don't see them paying the 30 million on the immediately the judgment is pronounced.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps have you seen cases where a motorist only discovered their insurance was fake after an accident or a police inspection?
Yeah, we have had cases where an accident happens, and then that is the time that you discover your insurance is fake. And now, if you are not blamed for the accident, you are a lucky person. But if you are the person to blame, then you face that financial outlay will be on your side. Then you need to repair your vehicle, you need to repair the vehicle of the other person, you need to pay for any injuries, any hospital bills that are incurred from that accident. So it's a very, very huge exposure that faces the person who doesn't have a valid certificate.
So perhaps what should motorists look out for when dealing with insurance agents or brokers? What are the warning signs that an insurance certificate may not be genuine?
Well, there are various ways that you can actually, from the conduct of the person who is selling to you the insurance. Number one, all insurance agents or brokers are supposed to be licensed. When you request somebody for a license, to see a copy of their license, and they are reluctant to give you a copy of the license, then you know maybe the insurance they are giving you may not be genuine. There are other persons that you find they want to do everything for you. They want to get you the insurance, they want to come and they want to get you a sticker to come and stick on your windscreen so that your job will only be to drive after they have done all that. Then that is also a red flag that you should see. When you ask somebody to give you a policy document and you find that they are not giving you a policy document, that should be a red flag. When somebody asks you, can you make payment, just make payment in cash? We don't take checks, we don't want M-Pesa. That should also be a red flag. We normally encourage people to make sure that you make payment electronically, and preferably you make that payment directed to the insurance company, because all the insurance companies have got their pay bills, and it is the best route is to make that payment directly. Those agents or those intermediaries will still get their commissions from the insurance company, even if you pay directly to the insurance company.
Okay. Now, when it comes to verification, how long does it take, and how can motorists verify their insurance covers?
Verification of insurance certificate is very easy. It takes less than a minute to do the verification, and we would urge every motorist to make sure that once you get the certificate, then you do the verification. We have two methods of doing the verification. One is you can download an app. We have an app called Bima Yangu app. It is available in the Play Store, so you can download that app. That app is a very, very simple app. It looks like once you download the app, then you just go to the verification. It has several screens. That is, you can report a claim using the app. You can verify the certificate, and the key thing is you go to verify the certificate. The app looks like this. Then you can just go tap verify motor insurance certificate. Then what you need to do is to scan. You just scan the QR code on the certificate like this. Then it is there, you are, it is scanned. Then you just put in the registration number of the motor vehicle, KCR 567P. Come and put KCR 567P. And then you say verify. So after you do that, then you can see that the details are out here. It has brought in the details. It says that this certificate is genuine. It says, it is give me the registration number of the vehicle. It tells me this is a Pro Box, and it tells me the certificate is issued by Monarch Insurance Company. Then it tells me the period of insurance is from 11th December 2025 to 10th December 2026. So you're able to see the insurance details on your phone. Immediately you do that. So it is simple and straightforward in terms of that verification. For those who do not have a smartphone, then there is you can use the USSD, and you just dial *352#. *352#. Then you would be prompted to put in the certificate number. The certificate number is normally here at the top. This is the certificate number. Then you put in the certificate number. You'll be requested to put in the registration number, and then you'll be asked to verify. Then you are done. You get the details similar to what we have seen here from the app.
And perhaps what information should motorists expect after verification?
When you do the verification, there are various results that you get. For example, this one, the one that I've just verified, you have seen it is reading, it is genuine. If it is an expired certificate, then it's going to show you it is expired. And that means you don't have an insurance cover for that day. It can also bring in a result to say it is invalid. Now that is the one that we are referring to as a fake insurance certificate, the invalid certificate that gives you the invalid. It can also show you a result like it is upcoming. Then upcoming means it is starting either tomorrow or the next day. You know, you can take insurance to start at a future date. The only thing you cannot do is to backdate, but you can take starting from a future date. So when you verify that one, it is going to show it is upcoming. So it means you don't have insurance for today, but you have it from tomorrow or from the next day.
Perhaps how often should motorists verify their cover?
We would advise that immediately you get your insurance certificate, you do the verification immediately, so that then you get that comfort, because you take insurance so that you are comfortable in terms of when you are using the road. You know, even if something happens, then you are covered for that, for any kind of liabilities. So we would urge motorists to make sure that they do verify their certificates immediately they are sent to them. Now that the certificates are sent electronically, immediately you receive it, then the first thing to do is to verify the certificate.
Right. Perhaps can an insurance policy become invalid after it's been issued?
An insurance policy can become invalid if it is cancelled by the insurer, and there are several reasons that cause insurance companies to cancel policies. For example, you had promised to make a payment of premium. You pay premium. Sometimes we pay premium in installments. You pay the first installment, then you are unable to raise the other installment. Then what the insurance company will do is to cancel the policy. Other reasons for cancellation, they may see, like, for example, you did not tell them the truth from the start. So when they come to inspect the vehicle, they inspect the vehicle and find, for example, the vehicle had some damages which you had not disclosed, or something is amiss in the vehicle. Then that would cause an insurer to cancel the policy.
Perhaps as we come to a close, what message would you like to leave the motorists about verifying their insurance before it's too late?
The message I would like to leave with the viewers is, number one, immediately you get your motor certificate, you should just do the verification, even if you are getting it from your very, very trusted agent or your very, very trusted friend. You should just do the verification. We have seen very, very trusted people giving out those, the people that we have seen actually conned using the certificates are conned by their friends. So even when you try to follow them up to tell them, let's now make this a criminal matter, sometimes they shy out because they are very close friends. So we would advise motorists to make sure that they do the verification immediately they get the certificate, the motor insurance certificate.
All right. Thank you so much. That was William Kiama, Manager of General Insurance Business at the Association of Kenya Insurers. Thank you so much, sir. We now move on to other news. Small construction businesses and contractors across Kenya will now be able to acquire some of the country's most widely used heavy machinery with as little as 10 budget up front after Bank of Africa Kenya and Ganatra Plant and Equipment signed an agreement to provide 90% financing for the equipment repairable over 5 years. The deal connects BOR's asset finance capabilities with Ganatra's position as the only company authorized to sell JCB construction equipment in Kenya and Uganda. The new deal, is designed to bring premium machinery within reach of contractors. Kenya's construction sector contributes approximately 5.6% to the country's gross domestic product and is projected to grow at an annualized rate of 5% in the long term, majorly driven by government road projects, affordable housing programs, and energy infrastructure.
The idea of giving 90% finance would really help customers acquire JCB equipment. And with the infrastructure spend that is currently ongoing, the government is spending a lot of money on infrastructure, and we feel that we can really plug into that and put a lot of equipment out into the market.
This partnership combines the strengths of two trusted brands. On one side, Bank of Africa is offering competitive interest rates, flexible repayment tenures that suit our businesses.
We are looking at financing the agriculture sector and the construction sector, and this is one of the lines that JCB has established, and we want to collaborate in this area.
Delays in electing farmers' representative in the Kenya Sugar Board is hurting efforts to revive the industry in the country. The process, which has been delayed by almost 1 year, has seen the board operating without a fully constituted team, raising legal concern about its decisions. Cane farmers from the Upper Western region have now threatened to stop engaging with KSB until the Ministry of Agriculture commit to name a new election date for the farmer representatives. Britain earlier has the details.
Leaders representing sugarcane farmers have expressed frustration over the postponement of the elections, which had been scheduled for June 25th, demanding a clear explanation on what is happening in the sugar sector, which they claim may have been infiltrated by cartels.
Walikuwa kingoja tarehe 25 juzi wapiga kura, lakini ikaahirishwa na wachaweka tarehe. Kwa hivyo kama wakulima wa hapa tunasisitiza, tunataka uchaguzi ufanywe kabla ya mwezi wa 8.
William Kopi, Chairman Butali Farmers, has expressed their disappointment surrounding the Kenya Sugar Board, saying those opposing the activities of the board are not farmers.
Hatutaki mambo tunayoyasikia kwamba labda mtu anapeleka mswada bungeni ya kwamba nomination inaweza kufanya na waziri wa agriculture. Wawajie wakulima wafanye haki yao.
Fund yenye kutoka kwa Sugar Board kuja kwa wakulima kupata loan, kupata vifaa ya shamba inachelewesha na watu binafsi ambayo wako na ubinafsi wao.
Kopi is raising concerns that the delay could pave way for fraudsters to influence the appointment of Sugar Board members, denying genuine sugarcane farmers their democratic right.
We are disappointed the way sugar industry is being run. Imechukuliwa na wale ambao si wakulima ndio wanapinga election ya election ya farmers kupeleka representative kwa Kenya Sugar.
The farmers are now urging relevant authorities to intervene and help address challenges facing the sugar sector in the country. Reporting for KBC Channel 1, my name is Britain Elia.
Civil society groups are urging the government to expedite the payment of mining royalties to residents affected by the Base Titanium Company project. According to the 2016 Mining Act, the community affected by minerals activities get 10% of mining royalties. County government gets 20%, while the national government gets 70%.
Katia 20% ya base toka waanze mpaka imefikia hii 20% tumefanya mradi fulani, wakaandika huu mradi huu tulitenga pesa fulani, hii ni ile 20% yenu, tungekuwa tumeona maendeleo makubwa. Lakini si hakuna mradi ambao umeonyeshwa kama hii 20% mradi wenu ni ule ambao imetoka kwa base.
Changamoto ya kwanza ambayo tunaipata ni ile kwamba tunakosa uungwaji mkono wa serikali. Katika serikali zetu za mashinani wanakosa kuwa ule uungwaji mkono, na wanaenda kiwango cha kwamba wanakuwa kambe sasa ni competitor wa sisi, kwa sababu unajua hili jambo la madini watu wengi, kila mtu anaweka interest yake pale.
Now in sports news, the National Olympic Committee of Kenya has hosted a Continental Olympic Forum in Westlands, Nairobi, bringing together national Olympic committees from across Africa to begin preparations for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. The Olympic Solidarity Forum brought together African Olympic leaders in Nairobi to discuss athlete development, Olympic qualification pathways, and high-performance programs ahead of championships. Organized by the National Olympic Committee of Kenya under the International Olympic Committee's Olympic Solidarity Program. The forum also provides an opportunity for delegates to share best practices, strengthen partnership, and enhance sports governance across the continent. NOC says hosting the forum reinforces its commitment to advancing the Olympic movement while supporting Africa's quest for greater success at the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games.
Together we can ensure that Africa arrives in Los Angeles stronger, better prepared, and ready to compete with the distinction in the world's greatest sporting stage.
We want to see now, as he has mentioned already, how do we increase the numbers of participants going to LA? And that's why now we want to see the pathways on how the qualification standards will be met, the rankings of our athletes, and to ensure that we maximize on those areas that we know that will increase the number of athletes that will be going to LA.
Shivani Raju and Hannah Shah were crowned champions of the 2026 Social Paddle Championship, which culminated at the Play on Paddle courts in Nairobi. This is after defeating the formidable duo of Serish Therkar and Sayana Lather with a decisive 6-3 scoreline. The third place playoff saw an equally spirited contest with Nafisa Fazal and Yasmina Mohammed securing the final spot on the podium. The tournament, hosted at the premier Play on Paddle facility in Nairobi, brought together close to 200 players.
It's been good. There's been a lot of progress and then some ups and downs. You win some, you lose some, but it's just, I think for me, it's a fitness thing. It's a passion. I love it. Yeah.
5 levels of amazing paddle, starting from level 3 all the way up to level 4.5. What's been amazing about this tournament is for the first time ever, we've had women's levels where we're combining the 2 levels of intermediate and advanced, as well as in level 4 and 4.5.
Allied. Well, excuse me for that. Now, in other news, Morocco became the first African nation to secure a place in the FIFA World Cup round of 16.